So as we get into the spring and eventually the summer, we're going to be talking more and more about 2022 primary races and midterm races and just races in general, as many of you know. There's an interesting Senate race happening in Ohio. This is the race in which J.D. Vance, who is the author of the book Hillbilly Elegy, which really wasn't a bad book, but he's gone completely off the rails. J.D. Vance is a candidate. Trumpist Josh Mandel is a candidate. And at a recent debate within this race, a physical fight almost broke out, which included, you guys, I'm sure anybody who's been to a bar knows these situations where it's two men. I've never seen women do this at a bar. They start doing the thing where they puff up. It's almost like a peacock or, certain animals that kind of like, there's some frogs that like blow up their chest and certain birds. I don't know if titmice do it or what kind of birds. They kind of just start puffing themselves up and start almost chest bumping. And it's kind of like a battle to see who will back down first. That, which normally is happening at bars, took place at the Republican primary debate. It's really, really wacky. The Times of Israel reporting near fight at Ohio Republican Senate debate between candidates Josh Mandel and Mike Gibbons. After Mandel repeatedly interrupts him, Gibbons accuses the former soldier of not knowing how investments work, which was that was a fair criticism, leading the latter to stand up and accost his rival. And we have video of this. If you're only listening, you'll have to imagine what it's like, although we'll have the clip up on our Instagram and on our TikTok. These are the front runners, guys, and we'll look at polling in a moment. But this is how cartoonish and childish and pathetic some of these races are. Check this out.
No, you don't. I do. You've never been in the private sector in your life. All right, gentlemen. I work, sir. Josh. Squat. About 2 tours in Iraq. Don't tell me I haven't worked. Don't tell me I haven't worked. You don't know squat. It's okay, all right? You don't know squat. 2 tours in Iraq. Don't tell me I haven't worked. Back off, buddy. You back off. Oh, come on. Never that'll happen. Sit down. Never. Watch. Yeah. Watch. We squared away with dealing with the wrong dude. No, you're dealing with the wrong guy. You watch what happens. Listen, you watch what happens.
Yeah, you watch what happens. So threats being issued. Now, I don't know, you guys will have to tell me who comes off as the alpha male in that situation. It's genuinely hard for me to tell. And meanwhile, J.D. Vance, who did not participate in that, but is part of this race, sat to the side thinking, obviously, this really benefits me, although he's not polling that well. These are the front runners in the Ohio Republican Senate primary. We have the polling here. The latest here is these are average. Gibbons is polling 20. Mandel is at 18.7. So that's basically a tie. It's almost within the margin of error. J.D. Vance is down at 11%. And 2 other candidates, Timken and Dolan, are almost where J.D. Vance is. Patel with 1.5. So that's an interesting race. And what's fascinating about it is the least delusional people. Well, I can't even say that. The most obviously delusional people are some of the ones doing the best. Mandel is an absolute lunatic. I mean, just a complete and total lunatic. And if you actually go and look at his political record, you see that this is just a massive pro-Trump guy. And he has backed the election fraud claims of Trump. He says that the 2020 election was stolen. He says if he wins, he will carry forward Trump's agenda. Now, what's funny about that is it's not clear Trump really had an agenda other than just self-aggrandizement and putting himself in positions of power. He said the Trump impeachment was a sham. He will fight for the America First agenda. He says we will soon see the evidence coming out of the widespread voter fraud. I mean, that's verbatim what Trump says. And he's tied for first place, essentially tied for first place with Gibbons. So it's a very difficult primary to kind of make heads or tails out of because so many wacky people in there and they don't seem to be hurt by saying and doing crazy things. We'll see if the polling in any way is impacted. If anybody is going to benefit from that confrontation, you would think it would be J.D. Vance. Although there might be Republican voters who like that and who say, no, I liked Gibbons before and I liked that Gibbons didn't back down. Or I liked Mandel before and I liked that Mandel didn't back down. And they both puffed up their chests. At this point, I don't pretend to know what Republican voters are going to like, but we'll soon see it reflected in the polling.